Okay, so now we come to chapter 6 of class 11, that is thermodynamics, right? Now in thermodynamics, we are going to do a lot of numericals, number 1. Then number 2, इसमें से mostly आपको questions जो है 2 या 3 questions competitions में आते हैं अगर आप NEET या JEE के लिए बैठ रहे हो. JEE में तो still only 1 question is going to come, but for NEET at least 2 questions are going to come from this section, right? When you're sitting for your plus 1 final examination, from this you will get 6 to 7 marks का question. Okay, so let's go on to thermodynamics. Thermodynamics का मतलब क्या होता है? Thermo means heat and dynamics means movement. So thermodynamics means flow of heat, right? Where flow is going to be dynamics, that is movement, and thermo, that is going to be heat. So this is the branch of chemistry it is that branch of chemistry which is going to deal with energy changes. When we looking at chemical reactions, there are 2 questions जो कि ये thermodynamics is going to answer. कौन सा है? The first question is कि whenever there are 2 substances put together, will those substances react? Or in other words, we can say it answers the question of feasibility of a reaction. Right? तो अगर हमने 2 substances को इकट्ठे रखा है, क्या वो substances react करेंगे कि वो substances नहीं react करेंगे? That the answer we will get from thermodynamics. ठीक है? Then number 2, what energy changes are associated with any reaction? This is the second question which chemical thermodynamics that is going to give us, that what are the energy changes which are taking place when a reaction that is proceeding. Then number 3, over here it also tells us that at what particular concentrations the reaction will reach equilibrium. ठीक है? So what is going to be the reactants of the concentration of the reactants and the concentration of the products जब equilibrium establish होगा? All these 3 questions they are going to be answered in this particular chapter. Now when we talking of thermodynamics, before we go on to the main chapter, कुछ ऐसी nomenclature है या terms हैं जो कि इस chapter में दोबारा से use होंगी, बार-बार use होंगी. So let's understand those terms today, which is an introduction of thermodynamics. The first term which we are going to study over here is system. So what is a system? System is any part of the universe that is under investigation or under observation. So any part of the universe that is going to be, that can be any substance, that can be any matter, that can be any space. So any part of the universe that is under investigation, that is going to be a system, and everything else that is going to be surroundings. So what we are saying, that we are classifying the universe into 2 things, one which is the system and the other which is the surroundings. System is any part which is under investigation, and surrounding is anything apart from the system. Rest of the universe apart from the system that is going to be the surroundings. Okay, फिर उसके बाद the surroundings and the system, they can be differentiated by a line which is known as boundary. So what is boundary? It is anything which is going to separate a system from surroundings. Anything which is going to separate a system from surroundings, that is going to be a boundary. Like for example, if you're talking of system and surroundings, let's see that the room in which we are sitting, and that room we are calculating the temperature, and what is the temperature inside this room. So this room, that is going to become the system, and the outside area of this room, that is going to be the surroundings. And the walls which we can see over here, that is going to be the boundary which is separating the system from the surroundings. Okay? Now when we are talking of systems, systems may be of the following types. Number one, it is known as isolated system. Isolated system is a system which neither exchanges matter nor energy with the surroundings. So, isolated system is not going to exchange matter nor energy with the surroundings. Isolated system is a substance which is contained in an ideal thermos flask. If you're taking a thermos flask, an ideal thermos flask is one which does not exchange heat with the surroundings. So that is going to be an example of isolated system. The second type of system which we have, that is the closed system. Closed system kaun sa hua? It is that system which exchanges only energy. Right? It is not going to exchange matter with the surroundings. It will only exchange energy. Then we have the third system. Third system, that is the open system. Open system is going to exchange both energy and matter with the surroundings. Right? Now if we want to distinguish between isolated, closed and open system, so we can just take a general a cup of tea which we are taking. If the cup of tea that is kept in a thermos flask, it will not exchange energy and matter both. Agar we have taken a cup of tea and we have covered it with the help of a saucer, तो उसमें क्या होगा कि ठंडी तो वो हो जाएगी चाय, है ना? But चाय जो है that will not evaporate. So matter is not being exchanged. It is only energy which is going to be exchanged. Open system में क्या होगा कि हमने एक cup of tea रखा है on the table and slowly and gradually we will see that it will get cold, number one, and number two, the evaporation of tea also starts taking place such that both matter and energy that is exchanged with the system. We can take another example of open system over here. For example, if we are reacting sodium with water in an open beaker, okay, we have taken water and sodium in one open beaker, तो क्या होगा? In that case, a lot of heat is going to be generated because sodium is highly reactive. तो वो जो heat generate होगी, वो system जो है वो heat किसको दे रहा है? Surroundings को. Number one. Number two, जब वो reaction होती है, तो hydrogen that is going to be evolved. क्योंकि वो open system है, hydrogen will also go in the atmosphere. So that is an example of open system. ठीक है? Now on the basis of composition, we classify the systems again into two. So what are we saying over here? On the basis of composition, we are classifying the systems into two. One which is known as homogeneous system. Homogeneous means a system having one phase. जैसे for example, we have miscible liquids, or we have air, right? Miscible liquids means कि दो liquids हमने लिए हैं, alcohol and water, and both they are completely mixed with one another. So as a result, we can see only one phase. So that is homogeneous. This thing. Even if you're taking sugar and water, the sugar and water also is one homogeneous system. ठीक है? Whereas the second type of system which we have, they are known as heterogeneous systems. In case of heterogeneous system, there are going to be different phases. It does not consist of one phase. As for example, we can take over here two immiscible liquids like oil and water. So if you've taken a system which contains oil and water, we will see that oil can be seen separately and water that is going to be seen separately. So such systems, they are known as heterogeneous systems. Now when we are talking of any system, we talk of the properties of the system with respect to thermodynamics, and these properties, they are going to be known as thermodynamic properties. This is very important from your examination point of view. Thermodynamic properties कौन सी हुई? Those properties which depend upon the matter which is contained in a system, उसको हम thermodynamics, macroscopic properties हम उसको बुलाते हैं. Macroscopic properties are properties due to the bulk of matter which is contained in a system. Now these thermodynamic properties, they are of two types. The first one, that is known as intensive properties. ठीक है? Intensive properties वो होती हैं which do not depend upon the quantity of matter present in a system, which do not depend upon the quantity of matter which is present in a system. A very common example of this we have done in our previous chapter, boiling point. So if we are taking the boiling point of water, whether we are taking one glass of water or we are taking a tub of water, the boiling point of water does not change. So we say that properties like boiling point, that is going to be an intensive property because it does not depend upon the size or amount of matter which is contained. Rest of them are pressure, temperature, density, refractive index, etc. We will do a few more properties later, but these are a few examples of intensive properties. ठीक है? So अगर हम लोग boiling point ले रहे हैं, तो यहाँ पे we can also take melting point. Melting point will also be an intensive property. ठीक है? The second type of properties which we have, they are known as extensive properties. Extensive properties कौन सी होती है? They are those properties which are going to depend upon the amount of matter present in a system. ठीक है? That is extensive properties. For example, we can say that mass is an extensive property. Volume is also an extensive property. ठीक है? Now, if in case we are looking at the derived properties, we have done derived properties in chapter 1. Derived properties वो होती है जो कि हम derive करते हैं from the fundamental properties. ठीक है? If we are taking the derived properties, in that case, you have to remember one thing. You can just write down a point. In a system having two or more substances, the extensive property the extensive property will depend upon not only on independent variables, not only on independent variables, but also on number of moles of different components present in it. Of different components present in it. And number two, if extensive property is expressed per mole or per gram, it becomes intensive property. Right? So it means that if we have one extensive property and we are dividing it with another extensive property, that is going to give us intensive property. Okay? Let's take an example over here. We know that mass, that is an extensive property, volume is also an extensive property. So we have mass upon volume, that is equal to density. So mass is extensive, volume is extensive, and density, that is going to become intensive property. So any property, if we are dividing or we are taking the ratio of two extensive properties, they are going to become intensive properties. ठीक है? So इस तरह से आप MCQs में ये वाला क्वेश्चन जो है इस तरह से डिराइव कर सकते हैं. Okay, now when we are talking of this, let's say that in this case we are saying we have all the intensive properties. You need to remember that whether we are taking the sum, whether we are taking the ratio, or we are taking the product of intensive properties, right? The result should only be an intensive property. Okay, so if you're taking the sum, you're taking the product, or you're taking the ratio properties, the result is going to be an intensive property. ठीक है? Now over here, if we are taking extensive properties, I have already told you that if you're taking the ratio of extensive properties, it is going to be intensive. But if we are taking the sum of extensive properties, extensive plus extensive, ठीक है? If you are taking the sum of extensive properties, the result is going to be extensive. Right? If you are taking the ratio of extensive properties, the result is going to be intensive. But if you are taking the sum of extensive properties, the result is going to be extensive. If you are taking the sum, ratio, or product of intensive properties, the sum is always, or the result is going to be intensive property. ठीक है? So ये एक section है जहाँ से we can expect a question. The next that we come to, let's take examples of intensive and extensive properties, because the question which you will get is, which of the following is an extensive property? Okay, so that is the kind of question which you get from this section. So let's go on to examples of intensive properties. You will see that the intensive properties, they are going to outnumber the extensive properties over here. Or second, we are taking certain examples of extensive properties. When we are taking the intensive properties, molarity, right? फिर उसके बाद concentration, density, temperature, pressure, mole fraction, फिर उसके बाद मोलर एंथैल्पी, रिफ्रैक्टिव इंडेक्स, स्पेसिफिक हीट, specific heat, viscosity, surface tension, all these properties we have studied in our previous chapter. Viscosity, surface tension and dielectric constant. These all are going to be intensive properties. और extensive properties में हमारे पास क्या आ गया? Mass, volume, heat capacity, number of moles, right? Gibbs free energy, that is G. We are going to study this in this chapter. Enthalpy, entropy, all this we will study over here, and internal energy, U. All these, they are extensive properties. So we can see that intensive properties, they are going to be much more than extensive properties. ठीक है? Then we come to another term over here, state functions and state variables. State functions and state variables. When we are doing the state functions and state variables, we know that there are certain properties which are going to, you can say, determine the state of any system. जैसे temperature हो गया, pressure हो गया. So these are going to tell us whether any system that is existing in solid state, liquid state or gaseous state. ठीक है? These are known as the state variables, or they are also known as thermodynamic parameters. So we can say that the functions or variables which determine the state of a system, they are said to be state variables or thermodynamic parameters. Right? Now there are certain distinct properties whose, you can say that the change in state depends only on the initial and the final states. ठीक है? Such properties, they are said to be state functions. So properties in which the change in state is given by only the initial and final state. Right? By only the initial and the final state, and is independent of the path. All these, they are going to be known as what? They are said to be state functions. ठीक है? They are going to be known as state functions. Right? So state variables हमारे पास कौन-कौन से हो गए? State variables we are going to have as pressure, temperature, volume. Right? उसके बाद we have internal energy. This is the state function. फिर हमारे पास आ गया enthalpy. फिर उसके बाद आ जाएगा entropy. ठीक है? And then we have free energy. And finally, number of moles. All these, they are going to be state functions whose change in state will not depend upon the path how the final state is attained. It will only depend upon the initial and the final states. ठीक है? That is what state functions are. Then there are a lot of thermodynamic processes which we are going to study. What are these thermodynamic processes? Whenever one state is going to convert into other state, it is going to go through certain changes, and these changes, they are said to be thermodynamic processes. Right? The operation is known as thermodynamic process. The first one which we are going to study over here, that is isothermal process. Isothermal process. Isothermal process is that process in which the temperature of the system, that is going to be constant. Iso means same, thermal means temperature. There is going to be no change in the temperature of the system, or in other words we can say dT, that is going to be 0. The change in temperature in such systems, that is going to be 0. ठीक है? सेकेंड हमारे पास आ जाता है एडियाबैटिक प्रोसेस. Now what is adiabatic process? For adiabatic process, we say that there is going to be no heat change. Or we can say that dq, that is going to be 0. Change in heat is going to be 0. There is no heat exchange between the system and the surroundings for adiabatic process. ठीक है? थर्ड हमारे पास आ जाता है isobaric process. Baric over here is going to represent pressure. So in this, there is no change in pressure, or other words we can say dP, that is going to be equal to 0. ठीक है? Then we have isochoric process. Isochoric process में there is going to be no change in volume. Or dV, that is going to be equal to 0. ठीक है? फिर उसके बाद नेक्स्ट प्रोसेस आता है साइक्लिक प्रोसेस. In a cyclic process, if any process that is undergoing a change in which there is one intermediate state present, then we say that in a cyclic process, if from A we are going to B and through an intermediate we go back to C, this is going to be a cyclic process in which the initial state is recovered by the formation of an intermediate. That is going to be a cyclic process. ठीक है? Next जो हमारे पास process आ जाता है, that is going to be reversible process. Reversible process is that process which actually whenever a reaction is taking place, there are going to be two forces which are present. One is the force which is driving the reaction from reactants to products, and one is an opposing force which is taking the products back to reactants. If in case the opposing force, that is going to be more, the reaction that is going to proceed in the backward direction. So such processes, they are said to be reversible, in which the reaction conditions, they are changed in such a manner that the opposing force takes the reaction back to the reactant state. That is a reversible process. ठीक है? Although जो ये process होता है, this is an ideal process, and practically this is not observed, right? So it is not practically observed all the time. So reversible process is an ideal process. The non-ideal process which we have, that is going to be, or which we can observe practically, that is an irreversible process. So the next process which we have, that is the irreversible process. Irreversible process में the process goes from initial stage to the final stage. ठीक है? And this is going to happen in one, you can say in one row, in a specific time, in a finite time. ठीक है? So the reactants that will go to products in one go, in one state, and by altering the state variables, we cannot get the reaction back to the reactant state. Such processes, they are said to be irreversible in nature. ठीक है? So these two processes, let's point out the differences between reversible and irreversible process. We have reversible and irreversible process. This process, reversible process is an ideal process, as we just discussed. It is an ideal process and takes infinite time, right? Whereas the irreversible process is a spontaneous process taking place in a finite time. Right? Now over here, you can say the driving force that is going to be greater than the opposing force, right? So driving force greater than the opposing force means that the reaction, if the driving force is more in the forward direction, the reaction will go in the forward direction. And if the driving force in the opposite direction is going to be more, the reaction will proceed in the reverse direction. Okay? So we are saying that driving force is greater than opposing force in a reversible direction. Right? But the difference between the two is very, very less. Infinitesimally small difference between the driving force and the opposing force. But over here, the driving force that is going to be much, much greater than the opposing force, such that the reaction cannot come back to the reverse direction. Okay? Then number 4, in reversible, work obtained is maximum, right? Whereas in irreversible, work obtained is not maximum. Then number 4, this is an ideal process, does not take place practically all the time, but this is a practical process. Okay? So these are the differences between this. The next topic which we have is that how any system that is going to lose energy, or how the system that is going to do work, right? So what are the types of work and energy which we are going to study in this entire chapter? That is nature of work and heat. Nature of work and heat. We say that when we are talking of work, what do we understand by work? Work is the mode of energy. It is the mode of energy transfer from either the system to the surroundings or vice versa. It is a mode of energy transfer from either the system to the surroundings or vice versa. Okay? Let's say that we are taking over here an ideal object. This ideal object, it is displaced It is displaced through a distance dx. Now over here, if we are applying force F to displace this through a distance dx, then in that case, force that is going to be what? Work is going to be force into displacement, and displacement which we have taken over here, that is going to be dx. Okay, we have just pushed it infinitesimally by a small distance which is dx. Now we say that there are this kind of work which we are doing over here, that is going to be mechanical work, isn't it? So whenever we are expressing different kind of works, the works they are going to depend upon two factors. Number one, which is known as the capacity factor, and number two, which is known as the intensity factor. Okay, so over here when we are taking different kinds of works, let's say the first type of work which we are taking, that is the gravitational work. Gravitational work, that will be what? Capacity factor mg, mass into acceleration due to gravity, into the intensity factor which is going to be h over here. So gravitational work that is going to be given by mgh. Okay? Second type of work which we have, that is the electrical work. Which is given by charge into voltage. Now we know that charge that is going to be equal to IT into V, that is going to be the electrical work. But the kind of work which we are going to study over here, that is a mechanical work. The kind of mechanical work which we will study in this chapter, that is known as the pressure, volume work. And this is specifically measured in case of gases, which is represented by P delta V, where this is the external pressure which we are applying. Okay, so this is going to be the mechanical work, where the pressure that is going to be the intensity factor and delta V is going to be the capacity factor. What is delta V over here? V2 minus V1. So we are saying that P external, that is going to be the capacity, the intensity factor, and delta V that is going to be the capacity factor. Okay. Now over here, when mechanical work is done, mechanical work the work can be done either by the surroundings on the system, or work can be done by the system on the surroundings. To explain this, let's take an example. We have taken a cylinder over here in which we have placed a gas, and we have taken a piston. Okay? Similarly, let's say this is cylinder A and we take another cylinder over here. Same, we put the gas and closed it with a moving piston over here. So this is B. Okay? Now if the gas is applying pressure on the cylinder, then what is going to happen? The cylinder that will be pushed outwards. If this is the pressure V, this is the volume V1 of the gas, then after gas applying pressure, the volume that becomes equal to V2. Okay? Over here we are saying that system is doing work on the surroundings. ठीक है. Similarly, now we are pushing it downwards such that the position of the cylinder now becomes this. If this was V1 over here, this is going to be V2. V2 that is decreasing, right? So यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? Work done by the system. Work done on the system. This is work done by the system, pushing the cylinder out, the piston outwards, and this is work done on the system, pushing the cylinder inwards. So when we are doing this, we say that work done on the system, that is always going to be positive. This is very important because this will lead to our first law of thermodynamics के numericals. So this section is important. So we are saying work done on the system, that is going to be positive, and work done by the system, that is going to be negative. Now how do we derive this? We have seen over here that W that is equal to P delta V, where delta V is equal to what? V2 minus V1. Over here V2 that is greater than V1. ठीक है, because V2 is greater than V1, then work done will become positive. V2 is greater than V1, therefore work done becomes positive. In this case, we are saying that work is done on the system, so V2 that is going to be less than V1, therefore work done that will become negative. ठीक है? Have you understood? Then the second mode of transfer is heat. Next, what we have over here is heat. How do we define heat? We know that we represent heat by Q. ठीक है? How do we define heat? It is the quantity of energy which flows between the system and the surroundings. So we say that this is the quantity of energy that flows between the system and surroundings. Right? Now in this case, let's say that the system is losing heat to the surroundings, right? If system is losing heat to the surroundings, in that case system is losing heat, we can say that delta Q that should be negative because the system is giving heat to the surroundings. Such processes, they are said to be exothermic in nature. ठीक है? In the second case, we are saying that system is absorbing heat from the surroundings. Okay, so delta Q over here that will become positive because system will now have more heat. It has absorbed heat from the surroundings. Such processes, they are said to be endothermic in nature. ठीक है? So अगर सिस्टम सराउंडिंग्स को हीट दे रहा है तो प्रोसेस एक्सोथर्मिक हो गया, डेल्टा Q नेगेटिव आ जाएगा, और अगर सिस्टम एब्जॉर्ब कर रहा है हीट सराउंडिंग से तो प्रोसेस एक्सोथर्मिक है, डेल्टा Q that is going to be positive. Now what are the units of heat or what are the units of work which we are going to use over here? Work and heat will have the same units, which is going to be joules. Right? What are the conversion factors? 1 joule that is equal to 0.2390 calories. ठीक है? And 1 calorie is equal to 4.184 joules. Right? And 1 liter atmosphere. 1 liter atmosphere that is equal to 101.3 joules. This is this thing which we use very commonly. 1 liter atmosphere, that is equal to 101.3 joules is equal to 1.013 into 10 raised to power 9 ergs. ठीक है, और it is equal to 24.206 calories, right? So today we are going to do only till here. This is an introductory chapter of thermodynamics. The terms which we have done today will be used again and again. So we are not going to explain it again. ठीक है? So आपको ये सारे के सारे terms already पता होने चाहिए जब हम आगे जाएंगे. All right?